Imperial was founded by Bill Lynch and has businesses in logistics, car rental, tourism, financial services, vehicle distribution and retail.
Right, so a similar business to Bidvest, a little bit different in terms of the international mix, more local and more exposed to the car dealership business, specifically with regard to some master licenses they have for vehicles like Kia, where they boomed over recent years, but that market, as Rowan intimated a moment ago, has been a little bit soft, with credit availability being a bit tight and new vehicle sales being punished by that weaker rand.
Market cap 41 billion rand, dividend yield here 3.8%, price to earnings ratio of 12.8, and still Mark Lamberti sits at the helm.
Yeah, so again, he's been doing a good job, I think, of refocusing it and taking the strategy forward that had been started under Hubert Brody, and really that was the international expansion into Africa. And that's been the sort of star performer of their business recently, that African logistics, the consumers developing there are more companies wanting to get their brands into those markets. They're very well placed. They've also done a lot in the pharmaceutical sector, which is a growth sector. So that's quite the exciting part of it. I think less exciting is their core traditional business, as Paul mentioned. AMH in particular has been hit heavily by the weakening rand and continues to struggle. You saw the most recent numbers. Again, their volumes down a lot more than the overall market as well. So dragging down the overall market in terms of motor numbers. And I think that's again going to hold back the rest of the group.
Paul, your thoughts, and of course that Mark Lamberti factor, is the market still waiting for something to come forward because of his appointment as CEO?
Look, Hubert did very well. That's Hubert Brody, the previous CEO. He left because he wanted to move to the Cape, spend more time with his kids who are still young. Mark Lamberti, of course, came with a very big reputation from his time at Massmart, a proven entrepreneur, proven manager of managers, that kind of thing. And I think he spent the first year of his tenure basically getting his hands around the business. They have done some further acquisitions and some disposals. We'll see more of that,
Talk to me. The share price graph is up on the screen.
Yeah, there it goes. So it's sitting at around 200 Rand a share, just below. So it's really been a bit sideways. But to be fair, his timing wasn't great with regard to the preponderance of earnings coming from that vehicle retail space. I don't know what to think about that. You know, I know middle income consumers are keen to drive in this country. People love being in their own vehicle rather than having to use public transport. I think that's going to remain firm, but clearly there is an affordability problem.
Can we expect anything other than a sideways movement from here for the foreseeable future?
No, I think the earnings are going to remain under pressure. The interim results indicated that initially the expectation that earnings would be flat this year, but now that's been changed to down slightly. I think the other areas, the European logistics business, which has become sizable, they made a number of acquisitions there. The euro's been weak. And on top of that, that sector's got very competitive. You're seeing sort of marginal players enter. So rates have come down, and actually earnings were under pressure quite significantly in Europe as well. So you've got that vehicle distribution business, I think, under pressure. The European business under pressure. South Africa logistics good. Africa logistics exciting. All in all, it ends up being slightly low earnings. I can't see the share price moving up.
Paul, hot or not on Imperial?
You know, I like the business mix, and I've long been positive about it, and I do think that we tend to worry too much about the GDP outlook. So notwithstanding the foregoing, I'm going to go with hot anyway, because I know that these are companies that just need a little bit of a slight turn in the wind direction to start making more money than people think. So I'm going to go with hot anyway.
Rowan, hot or not?
Well, I'm clearly the bear in the room. I'm going to say not.
You want to argue him, try and change his mind?
No, not at all.